Hello, I'm clearly getting no gardening done. It's a bit warm. So the RAF Brize Norton thing, it's I'm really confused on this because I feel again like I'm going, am I the only one that sees this? Am I the only one that's thinking this? Because we're all talking about some people going in on mopeds or scooters, putting some paint inside the engines of these aeroplanes, and it's like, oh, vandals. I'm like, really? Vandals? To me, that's terrorism. Is it not? We've got people on scooters, so we're sort of like demeaning it by the fact that they're on scooters, breaking in to an RAF base and deliberately sabotaging two planes. That goes above criminal damage, doesn't it? If it's for our armed forces, is that not a direct attack on our armed forces, which comes under the realm? So is that not terrorism? And it's a genuine question. I'm asking the question. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying, isn't it? That's where my mind is going. My mind is saying that's a little bit more than sabotage and vandals. That's a little bit more than naughty boys that got out, or naughty girls that got out on their mopeds. And we're sort of belittling it on the scooters. And they made a TikTok video of it, which is really fucking stupid. But this is just the way that we're going in the world. This doesn't mean that it's less of a crime. It doesn't mean that it's less of an act of, in my opinion, wanton, terrorism on our country. We're trying to make sure that two planes can't fly, is what we're trying to do. Two RAF planes that we have to defend our country. So the method of how it happens may have changed over time, and we might now be filming it and going, like we always do on the TikTok videos, but the actual act is exactly the same. We have wantonly immobilised and caused, how much damage? So when we're talking about vandals, and we're not going to stand for it, I sort of think, no, this is not vandals, in my opinion. But then we get to a bit where you'll probably have seen this. Lots of people are saying that Keir Starmer defended. So he defended an activist who broke into an RAF base to set fire to an aircraft. Not this one. This is back in his old job. Starmer claimed his client was legally justified because it might stop a war crime. If he'd won that argument in 2004, what happened at Brize Norton would be perfectly legal. Now, Keir Starmer called it an act of vandalism. He said the act of vandalism committed at RAF Brize Norton is disgraceful. Our armed forces represent the very best of Britain and put their lives on the line for us every day. And it's like, well, is that the best you're going to do? Is that the best you're going to do in supporting our armed forces? Yes, who was in charge of the security on that base? That's a massive oof, isn't it? There will be some very high level shouting going on this morning and yesterday, and probably there'll probably be an inquiry into that. Not so much the rape gangs. But I don't understand whether I'm just over dramatising? Yes, dramatising this. Or if I feel like this is a threat to our national security, that people can do this. I feel it's the latter. And I don't feel it's vandalism. I feel it's terrorism. I think it's a targeted direct attack. And, in the old job, defending criminals like this, well, yeah, that was your old job. That's what you were employed to do. So we can't argue with that. That was what he was his brief. What I would argue with is somebody that had that brief, that used to carry out that brief, that made their bread and butter from that brief, is now in place as the Prime Minister. That's the bit that I have an argument with. I'm like, he's not fit to do this, in my humble opinion. Because if he's so good, and we know we've got these 16 faces of Keir Starmer, but if he turns around and says, well, I was told to do that, I was employed to do that, they weren't my thoughts, which, yes, of course, that is technically what a lawyer does, but nonetheless it shows you've got your cap on one side, don't you? And I don't think he's fit to be Prime Minister on many levels, but this just highlights to me how we've got a massive conflict of interests, and I can't say this was an act of vandalism. I think it goes much deeper than that, much further than that, and I think it's another indication about how we're so soft on people that do stuff. An act of vandalism is all of those absolute cretins who left their barbecues and food and stuff on. Somebody took a photo of it the other day on Hampstead Heath. That's vandalising. When we see fly tipping, that's a vandal. They are the scum of the earth, honest to God. We've got a really good guy around here who finds the fly tipping, and if he sees anything pertaining to where it comes from, he goes and shoves it back on their drive. I hate fly tipping. I actually physically have a visceral reaction to fly tipping, but that's vandalising. This, to me, is an act of terrorism. As I say, to me, I don't understand legally whether it is or not, so I'm seeking advice as to whether that is. I'm saying, help me understand this, because I could be wrong, but if it's not, why isn't it? Just a thought.